I'm so happy to be able to share with you my knowledge and my experience. In fact, I thought of putting off counseling for quite some times already. But Pastor Tay was thinking if I don't teach this, then it will be lost from this church. So we agreed to record it. So I teach this time. Then next time people can just go on our website and learn from the website. That's why we have the recording today. Now, what I want to share is about our unique cell. Our unique cell is so very important. For example, I just give you an example. A pair of identical twins born in the same family, having the same background, if the parents divorce, one could still thrive in life, the other one could have gone into depression. Why? Identical twins from the same family, having the same education, same family background, but responded or reacted differently. That's because of temperament. One could say, I can still make it, even though both of you are divorced. Another one could have said, why? Why do I have this experience? Another child may say, no one is going to love me. Then she will start crying. So this is all to do with temperament. Temperament is something that they are born with. For example, I have a pair of twin grandnieces. One just loves mathematics. Both are girls. One just loves mathematics. The other one just loves language. They are from the same family with the same upbringing. Then why are they favoring different subjects and reacting differently? One is very girly, one is quite boyish. Love sport, jump here, jump there. Simply because their temperaments are different. That's why it's very important for us to know our own temperament. Then you can understand yourself better. Let's say in our counseling, we ever counsel a teacher from our Tasca Super Kids. After she has done the unique cell, we explained to her about her temperament. She started crying, simply because she thought she was mad. She thought something is wrong with her, because one day she would love to play with the kids in our Tasca, our play school. Another day she would just want to withdraw from the children. She doesn't understand why. Until we explain to her her temperament, then she begins to understand herself. She realized that she's normal. She's not abnormal, simply because she starts to understand herself. So understanding your own unique self helps you to be at peace with yourself. And other people, let's say your colleagues who know your temperament, they will also expect you to be different. Instead of putting you down or criticize you, they will be able to realize that, well, he has a different strength from us. So we have to accept him according to his strength. And once I counsel a lady who had marital problem, she's from another church. She was very depressed. She just came to me for counseling. Somebody introduced her to me. So I counseled her, and I didn't realize that after she left my counseling room, she didn't go home, even late at night. So her family called me. We were afraid that she would commit suicide because they couldn't find her. But I was at peace. You know why I was at peace? Because after I have given her the unique cell test to do, I know that with her temperament, it is quite unlikely that she would commit suicide. So I was at peace, but the family were worried. They called me in the middle of the night. Where is she? I say, I don't know. But the next day I received a call. She was actually sitting in her car at the car park of her own church for the night. So you see, knowing the temperament of certain person would help us to assess the situation or to assess another person well. So it helps us to live in peace with our spouse, because our spouse most likely would be a different temperament from us. So we will not demand our spouse to be like us. I think most marriages have some problem because they just couldn't see eye to eye with certain issues in life, not realizing that we are all different. So I realized that with this unique self understanding, we will be able to be at peace with ourselves. You accept yourself better. You have more tolerance towards another person. And then we will not demand others to be like us. We can encourage. But once they couldn't hit the mark that we want, we will accept it and work with what we have instead of being angry or unhappy. So it helps us in our group project or working as a team. And for those, let's say the youth who are going to further their education or go to higher education, based on their unique self-test, we would roughly know what kind of profession they are suited. You see? For example, if that person is a high feeler, okay, and he or she has chosen a job to be an engineer, civil engineer, for example, we would most likely discourage, simply because as a high feeler, they are not suited for detailed work, which happened to my husband's company, because my husband is an engineer, civil engineer, a consultant, so he employs engineers under him, civil engineers. So once or twice, I would ask him to let the staff do this unique self-test. After the test, I will let my husband know whether this engineer will make it a good engineer or whether he will most likely resign. He will not stay with a consultant firm for long because of the temperament, which is true enough. Recently, he discouraged one of the staff, in fact, two staff. One is underperforming, the other one is not suited. He can still, so both resign, you know. I think he make it difficult for them, so they have to resign. Simply because they are not so suitable. He has been giving them grace, but still didn't work. Not that he cannot be an engineer. For example, he is a high feeler. He cannot, it doesn't mean that he cannot be an engineer, but he can be an engineer working with a contractor, not necessarily a consultant, because a consultant, everything has to be very precise, very accurate. But for a contractor, is not working from that angle, you see. So he can still be an engineer elsewhere, but not with a consultant firm. So this kind of thing really helped. Another time, I let one of his staff do this test, and then I told my husband, she won't work for long. True enough, she looked for a job. She told my husband later on that I just couldn't stand working for a consultant. So he got a job that needs civil engineering background, but it involves sales and managing with another firm. So she can still be an engineer, but not necessarily working for a consultant. So these kind of things help a lot. You may ask me, as a teacher, what kind of temperament is suitable? 2 weeks ago, I did it for a few Chinese-speaking people, and so the teacher showed me the result. Am I suitable to be a teacher? I look at it and say, yes, why not? You see, for a thinker teacher, for example, if you are a thinker teacher, you will always be very concerned about whether your students understand the theory that you are teaching, step by step, you know. If you are a feeler teacher, you will be very concerned about how the student feels about the class. You see, your concentration is different, but it doesn't mean that you don't make a good teacher. You can still be a good teacher. So it's just, where is your emphasis? Okay, so I just want to give you a very short introduction about understanding our unique self. I use this as a tool for my counseling, because unless you realize your counseling coming from what angle, our counseling will not be very effective. Okay, because we cannot treat every counselee as the same, even though they may have the same problem, facing the same issue, but their responses in those issues may be different simply because of their temperament. So this one, I always use it as my tools, and then I will get the history test of that counselee, plus some knowledge of something else, then I will be able to counsel more effectively. Okay, so it's understanding people, going into their shoes to see the situation from their angle, then we will be more effective in our counseling. Now, these tools that we are using is based on our conviction that man does not evolve from monkey or apes, right? We are based on our conviction that men are created by a creator we call God, right? Because since we use it in our church context, this is not a religious class, but I just want to set the foundation very, very clear. We base on our conviction that man is created by a creator. Now, there's one verse in Genesis. The first book in the Bible is chapter 2, verse 7. It says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground." Man was formed from the dust of the ground. So it is a physical being that when God created man. I like to use the whiteboard because I like to write, okay? Man was created. This is physical, okay? Form man of the dust of the ground. Physical, no life yet. So we have the body. That's why when we die, we are buried, so we go back to the dust, right? Now, and then it says, "And breathe," it's Genesis 2:7, "and breathe into his nostrils the breath of life." He breathed into the nostril of that man that he has created the breath of life, and man became a living soul, a living being. Then only he breathed into the man, then only the man start to breathe. Okay, so it's like that. He breathed into us his spirit, the breath of life. So this is, man has a spirit. This is our conviction. And then because he breathed into us, we begin to have life. This is the body, there's no life. Okay? Then we become a living being or a living soul. Now, in this soul part, we have thinking, okay? We have our will. Okay, I decide to do this, I decide to do that, I begin to think, okay? And I have emotion, I feel something. So the unique self comes from the thinking, will, and emotion. Man begins to think, means man begins to feel, man begins to decide to do something. So our model, you can have many models in the world about your personalities, your character, your unique self, but this model that we use is based on this thinking, will, and emotion. Now, our Creator is very fair. Each person, for example, I will illustrate how fair he is. Each person, for example, is given 10 marks. Okay, For some, okay, for example, thinking, the thinking part, the will part. For example, some people think more, they have deeper thoughts. Some people are very determined person, some people are very weak-willed person. Now, and then there's some people, they can cry easily, they empathize easily, the emotion part, right? Some people, they don't really have much emotion, but they can do a lot of things. The will part is very strong. So for example, one person may have 6 marks here, may have 3 marks here, 1 mark here. Total is 10. So this person predominantly is a thinker. His life is led by careful thinking, analysis, facts. Now, another person, maybe, for example, okay, 7 here, 1 here, 2 here. Now, this person is led by his or her emotion, but the total is still 10, for example. So this person will be very good in visiting those who have needs, those who are in hospital, those who are poor. This person will feel a lot, empathize, right? This person, because he's predominantly thinker, he may not have so much compassion. He will go by facts. But it doesn't mean that he's bad, right? So, for example, another one, for example, the will part is very strong. He may be led by his will, for example, 6. Then maybe his thinker score is 2 here, 2 here. It's still 10. But you realize that these 3 people reacted differently in life. For example, I said, if there's a divorce in the family, which one would thrive? Do you know which one would thrive? Can you guess? These 3. Which one would thrive? Which? 1, 2, 3. Which one? Sorry? Anyone? Don't worry. Yes, 2 would thrive. Which one would suffer depression? Just guess, you have not have the knowledge yet, just guess. Which one? Not really. Which one would suffer depression? Thinker. Because by nature, thinker is more pessimistic. By nature, thinker think a lot. They are always, they look at things quite negatively. It's just inborn. This one will cry. Who will take care of me? That's all. And then after a while, she's okay or he is okay. But this doer will say, I don't need you. I can still live as I am. This person actually is a great leader in life. But there's disadvantage also. I will explain to you later. So I just want to let you know, because when I was doing it for another class, so the girl said, so which kind of life partner should I choose? Which combination is best? There is no best or bad, Marriage is actually adjustment. There's no good or bad. Adjustment. How much are you willing to adjust? That's all. There is no good or bad, okay? Temperament. But of course, for those who are getting married in our church, we will ask them to go through this. Because with each temperament, with each strength and weaknesses, they can anticipate what kind of conflict they will most likely meet. But it doesn't mean that they cannot get married, but they are prepared for it, okay? Then they'll know how to adjust. Okay? So God, or the Creator, is fair. Now, before I carry on, I would like you to do the test. You look at the instruction in front, the first page. There is no wrong and right in this test. Your answer has nothing to do right and wrong, and your answer has nothing to do with whether you are godly or not godly. It's just you. So your intuitive response is the best answer. You don't, when you look at the one question, don't think about, should it be this one or should it be that one? Which one is better? No, it is right from your heart. What is the answer you will give? That will be the best. That will be the most accurate. So can you pass it down? Each person take a copy. And extra, you have to give it back to me. And I'm sorry to say that I will have to take back the questionnaire after you have done it, because there's copyright. But you can record your own score, okay? Or any note that you want to take, you can do it. Yeah, you better do, yeah. I will collect it back later. Extra? Thanks. All have, huh? Okay. Okay, now I just read out the instruction for you. Number one, instruction number one, simply answer the question by ticking the yes or no column. Total the yes column after you've done it. Total the yes. Transfer your score to the appropriate box on the back page, which is here. The back here, okay? Then, hints. Read the question once quickly, answer yes or no on the basis of what you feel 51% of the time. Your initial response is the best answer. If you cannot answer the question, you may leave one unanswered question in each section. There is no right or wrong answer. The test only reflects your unique self. Okay, just remember there's no right and wrong. So do it. Now, before you do it, I just want to let you know, part one, section one here, okay, and then there are three parts. Part one is about the social you. That means in general, when people look at you, okay, in general, when you mix with people, the social you, that is part one. And then part two, it is about the decision-making part of you. On your job, when you're under stress, okay, that is part two. And then part three is affection. Affection means how do you relate to those who are closest to you? For example, if you are married, it could be your spouse. Most likely it's your spouse. Now, if you are not married, then it is your parents, those who are closest to you. Not shallow relationship, but people who really mean something to you. How do you relate to them? Okay, so you must know when you fill in the answer, it is these three areas. Okay, you can start doing it. Now, you realize that most of us, in fact, in general, most of us are a combination of either doer, thinker, feeler, or doer, thinker, or feeler, thinker, you know. We are very unlikely to be just one dominant temperament. Okay, like some of you here, which is quite unusual to me, you know, in my past experience. So feeler, thinker, feeler, doer. Okay, so you're pure in that temperament. Most of us are combination. Combination means the strength, for example, the strength of thinker. For example, if you are TDF, you have the strength of the thinker, you have the strength of doer and feeler. Of course, majority is T. Okay, you're most likely led by T. You have the strength and weaknesses of thinker. You also have some strength and weaknesses of doer. You also have strength and weaknesses of feeler and of feeler. So, for example, let's say a thinker is very high in analytical skill, so high that many a times he will be very slow in making decisions. He will be very slow in his work because he is very detailed. But if he has a doer, for example, we don't have T. No, TD. Okay, for example, let's say, I take this one, DT, okay? Now, he can be a very rush person because doer can do a lot of things, but they are very rush, very impatient. They can, they just want to get the work done, very task-oriented. So they are very rushed, very impatient. But because he has a thinker is more patient, thinker is slower, so it will slow down a little bit of the doer. You know what I mean? So you have the balance there. For example, let's say a feeler thinker. Feeler go by feeling, always quite subjective. We never ask a feeler to make objective decision because they cannot. Because they see life through feelings. So let's say if you are a mother and you are a feeler mother and your child fight with your neighbor's child, the first response you will give is, how dare you fight with my child? Your child is always right because you go by feeling, you see, feeler. But because you have the thinker score, your thinker will help you a bit to analyze, to be more objective. So you will balance a bit, okay? But at times, it will be your feeler taking charge. Your thinker is not at work. Then you will always be subjective. It all depends. For example, I have done it with someone who is a feeler thinker. She worked for the play school. So at times, because the feeler part of her like to interact with people. Feeler cannot go one day without talking to people. Okay, they will die. Right? Because I have a feeler friend. She told me, if I don't talk to people one day, I will die. You know, she really said that. She's a feeler, so sometimes she likes to play with the kids. She has no problem. She enjoys her work. But certain day, she just doesn't like the kids. She wants to withdraw from the kids. She thought she has something wrong. She's the one, when we counsel her, we told her, this is your inborn temperament. Then she begins to cry because she understands herself now. It's okay. So I talked to the principal. I said, you have a staff who is a feeler thinker. She has this problem. Is it possible for you to give her some work in the admin area, then also give her some work in the class? But because they don't have enough staff, so the principal couldn't make the adjustment for her. So eventually she also left the profession. So you see, knowing these things, it helps a lot, okay? As long as the school is able to adjust it, then you will be happier. But it doesn't mean that the school is obliged to do it. It just means that if they can help, so that everybody is working happily. Okay, now I just want to say something before I carry on, giving you the strengths and weaknesses of the different temperament. Now, energy level has something to do with your temperament too. So for marriages, if you have some conflicts in the marriages, you know, with certain temperament, you can live until at night, then you talk. But with certain temperament, you cannot leave it to the night, because that temperament gets very tired at night. So it's not a good time to talk or negotiate or to argue or to quarrel, because one temperament is so dead tired that he or she just cannot think straight. So it's not fair to have a serious talk at night. It must be at a time where both are feeling fresh. So this is why temperament is so important. Okay? Now, for a thinker, you know, a thinker, because of the thinking part of that person that take up a lot of energy from him, a thinker normally when he wake up, he's very fresh, okay? He's very fresh, and then his energy level will drop throughout the day until noon, then he come down until at night. He's very tired. So for thinker, don't quarrel at night. If your spouse is a thinker, okay? If you are feeler, it's okay. For a thinker, at night he's already tired, so maybe he has short temper. You can't blame him or her, right? Now for a feeler, what do you think the graph would be? A feeler? A feeler usually like to sleep late at night. They like to hang out with friends until very late. They can chit-chat, talk, laugh until very late. Okay? So, but then in the morning, a feeler find it very difficult to wake up. They like to sleep late. Is it true? Yes. Very true. Once I was helping a friend who is not from the church, a member's husband who is not from the church. I was explaining to him, this is you. He said, you're doing fortune telling. You know, he said, true, what you say is true, you're doing fortune telling. I said, no, it's not, it's just some psychology. Okay, so for a feeler, when they wake up, it's very slow to warm up. So they're usually like this. At night, then midday, they are very strong, so until at night, they're like that. This is feeler. This is thinker. So feeler, you can talk serious matter at night because they're still fresh. Okay? If you are a feeler married to a thinker, please take consideration, okay? Don't bully the other one. Okay? Choose the right time to talk about serious things. Now, for a doer, one who is very energetic, what do you think the graph would look like? Sorry? Okay, forever on top. They wake up, they are full of strength. Okay, throughout the day, they are full of strength. This is usually a doer. Okay, now there's another one we call phlegmatic. Okay, it's just like the word phlegm. Okay, that means very sticky, doesn't move easily, doesn't change easily. Okay? The perfect phlegmatic is the score between -2 and 2. Just now there was one who is a phlegmatic in one area. Yeah. -2 and 2 is a perfect phlegmatic. Whereas the rest, if you are all minus, you are also considered phlegmatic. Or there is a possibility of suppression in the past, so your score is all minus. Okay? Now, for a phlegmatic, somehow it's inborn in them that their energy level is very low. Throughout the day, they try to reserve their energy. Which area is it you're in phlegmatic? All area? Are you sure? No, you're not?
No?
No, you're not phlegmatic?
Is that -2 to 2?
Oh yeah, this first one, okay, phlegmatic. This one is not, okay. This one is not, okay. The first area is phlegmatic. Yeah, that's right, phlegmatic. Hers is -2 and 2. That's phlegmatic, okay? Afterwards, I'll explain to you. Phlegmatic, somehow they get tired easily. And they do things slowly. Is it true? Do you find it that way? Sorry? Slow, huh? You're one of teacher? Okay. Okay? Their strength is something that they somehow they are born with the low energy reserve. So they are always very reserved with their energy. They don't want to fight, they don't want to quarrel, they just want to have peace at all costs. Is it right? Is it right? Yes. Yeah, sure. Yes. Because she will find it too strenuous to fight, too strenuous to quarrel, everything at peace, you know. Don't want any conflict. A phlegmatic is a good peacemaker. Somehow it's born in them. They want peace at all costs, right? But a phlegmatic have very low energy reserve. So I would say throughout the day, they are always like that. Okay, phlegmatic. Okay, now I let you know. You see, strength and weaknesses, I just want you to, afterwards I'll let you know what are the needs of a doer, thinker, feeler, and I will also let you know their strength and weaknesses. Weaknesses arise simply because your needs are not met. You have, for example, feeler, you have a need to socialize. You have a need to feel you have the attention of the people. A feeler like to be popular. A feeler like to be recognized. Want to be the center of attention. Now, if that feeler child doesn't get it at home, if that child is a feeler and she doesn't get the attention of the parents or the teachers, then the weaknesses arise. The weaknesses arise because that child will use the wrong means to get the attention. For example, the child is behaving well, and yet the parents is not paying attention to the child. So what the child would do will do something bad in order for the parents to pay attention to them. So that become a need, a need was not met, no attention given. So that child will do something bad in order to get the attention. Then it becomes a weakness. So weakness arises simply because your temperamental needs are not met. Okay, so just understand that. Okay, before I erase all this, I just want to describe to you. Now for a doer, for example, this is a doer up here. Very capable, task-oriented, always get things done. And then there is a thinker here. Thinker predominantly, okay, or doer predominantly. Thinker. Thinker is usually very passive, analyze a lot, want all the facts before they move. So they are very slow in making decisions. And they have fear. They always have fear that they do the wrong thing. They feel inferior. Somehow they are born with it. Even if they are gifted, they feel inferior about it. They feel that their gift is not good enough. They feel that people will reject them. So they are very passive. This doer is not all the way on the go, visionary person. Okay? So, for example, you are a doer working with a thinker. The doer will demand the thinker to do something. The thinker will try their best. They move up. Let's say, for example, this is a high-rise building. They move up. To this person, it is already 300% moving up. Trying their best. Do it quickly. Do the task quickly. Make decision quickly. He has done his best. But to the doer, you are still so far away. So low. So the doer will keep calling the thinker, come up, be like me, do faster. I can do it. Why can't you do it? Eventually, thinker will stop trying because he has done his best. That's what happened to people who commit suicide. Because they think, a thinker, they try and try, or they're in a bad situation, they will continue to spiral down until they say the best way out is death, exit. A thinker is capable of committing suicide, but a feeler is not capable. I told you the lady that I counsel, I know that she won't commit suicide because she is a feeler. But a thinker, I will be a bit more cautious because thinker don't talk too much or here. Their playground is between here and here. A lot of thinking here. And they think and they don't talk, but they will take action very quickly, thinker. Feeler, they like to talk, right? So even if they want to commit suicide, they may ask their friend, which is the best way to die? So everybody know they are going to die. So after talking, they'll feel good. They won't take action. So thinker will stop trying. Or even feeler will stop trying because you're asking something that the feeler cannot do. You see? Likewise, if a thinker is calling to the doer, be like me, be more analytical. Think or look at situation from every angle before you take action. The thinker demanded a doer to do that. The doer tried. For example, he tried to come down. Also to him is 300%. He has done his best. But to the thinker, it's not enough. So at the end, the doer will also give up. They won't try anymore. This is the same with any marriages. You know, if you have a spouse, if you demand your spouse to change to be like you will most likely fail. Okay, so I say marriages is actually adjustment. How much are you willing to die to yourself to accept the other person as he or she is? If you are willing, then the marriage can work. If not, then it's not going to be very secure. Just now I said, for a thinker, they get depressed easily. So if the parents get divorced, the thinker will be affected most. Because to a thinker, a secure family brings security to the thinker. Thinker is very afraid of uncertainty. They don't take risks. That's why if the parents divorce, a thinker would be lost completely. To them, to the thinker, the parents' relationship is his or her security. You know, for a feeler, not so much. Yes, it may be, but they can get on again. Whereas a thinker, it will be here forever. It will be hurt forever unless they go for counseling. Okay? But for a doer, never mind. I can still make it. I can still thrive in life. So you realize people respond differently, react differently to situation differently simply because of their temperament. Parental cares are important, but we must take into consideration their temperament. That's why it's important as parents to know your children's temperament. Then you are able to bring them up the best way. For example, if your child is a thinker, if he's not being obedient, you want to take some action, it is no good punishing your child by asking your child to go to his room, not to come out, because he enjoys it. A thinker like to stay in a box. A thinker feels very secure. If you ask him to stand in a box, he will do it. A thinker like to follow rules. They are very obedient children. You ask them to stand in the box, they will do it. So if you confine him to a room, to him is no problem. He enjoys it. He enjoys to be alone, right? But for a doer, if your child is a doer, you want to take some discipline actions, you should ask him to stand in a box. He will find it very difficult because doer want boundless limit. They don't want limitation. Doer, if you're a teacher, you ask him to stand in the box. You know, if you're a teacher, you ask your doer student to stand in the box. The moment you turn around, he will be here. When you come back, he will be here. It will be like this, you know, go in and out. Whereas a thinker will stand there. You will enjoy it. Okay? So if you know your child is a feeler, you want to take disciplinary action, ask her to go into a room, no books, no music, she will die. She will find it very difficult because feeler like to relate to people. Their whole life is developing relationship. Their identity is relationship. So if I'm wicked, I want to get at my daughter. If she's a feeler, what I do is I will criticize her friend. Your friend, not good. If she bring back a boyfriend, I don't think he's very good, suitable for you. She will definitely go after him, even some more. Because I criticize her friend. I should never criticize a fearless friend. I should never talk down on a fearless friend, because for a feeler, her identity, her importance is in relationship. You see, so I know how to treat different people. For example, if I want to counsel someone, I will look at the score first, then I will know how to counsel. If a doer come into my office for counseling, I know that he is forced to. Not he voluntarily want to get counseling, because a doer always think that they can. They don't see their own problem. They will always see somebody's problem. So for a doer to come into my office, I will make sure that I'm stronger than the doer. For a thinker to come to my office for counseling, I will make sure that he see my certificate of counseling. Because a thinker will challenge me intellectually. You see? So I will know how to treat a thinker. I should not be too friendly with the thinker counseling, because he cannot take it. He will suspect, what is behind this counselor? Why is she so friendly to me? He will suspect. He's always suspicious of uncertainty. Whereas for a feeler, if a feeler comes for counseling, I need to be very friendly. I need to be very friendly, with showing acceptance, showing attention, paying attention to the feeler. Then the feeler will be able to be at ease. So you see, with all this knowledge, it helped a lot. I become more efficient in my work. For you, if you have a team, right? The team leader can be a doer, but the doer also needs thinker behind him, because a doer tends to do a lot of things very rashly. They have many visions, but they don't look into detail. So they need thinker behind them. So for entrepreneur, people who are businessmen, doer can be very good businessmen, can start many businesses, but they need a thinker behind them. They need a thinker behind them, because the thinker can think from every angle. A phlegmatic also can look into detail. So you need either a phlegmatic or a thinker behind you. So you have the vision, but you have people behind you to work it out. Then it will be a complete team. So for example, you know which staff have the feeler score. Then you ask them to get in touch with the parents, they'll be very good. They'll be very good in human relationship. Feeler can make people feel welcome. Feeler can be very friendly, personable, the life of the party, so they will help to stir up the atmosphere. Feeler is very good. Okay? If you want to have a project, somebody to drive the project forward, you need a doer. Because a doer don't see problem. Even though if there is problem, they don't see, but they dare to take risks. You see? So with all this combination, it helps a lot in how you assign your group, or how you treat your children, how you treat your students. Don't treat every student the same way, because they have different temperament. You see, a talkative students will most likely be a feeler, because feeler like to talk. Right? Those who are good in mathematics will most likely be a thinker or a phlegmatic. They are born like that. Thinker or phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is can make good accountant, can make good engineer also. Mathematician, phlegmatic and melancholic, thinker. Whereas for a feeler, they are good in people work, relating to people, so they can do sales. Feeler can do good sales. They are good salesmen. They exaggerate. Until they lie, they still don't know. It's true. Feeler, they will exaggerate until they lie. But they didn't realize it. So they are good salesperson. A feeler is good in human relation. So ask them to get in touch with the parents of the student, they will be good. You see? Now, a feeler can make good service. For example, you can be a nurse, you can be a receptionist, you can be a PR. You know, you are good in that. You see? Thinker is good with mathematics, is good with detail work. So if you want research, you look for phlegmatic, you look for thinker. They are very patient. Thinker, when they do research, they have a problem. Phlegmatic also have problem. Everybody have done their work, they are still thinking. Because they still analyze, they want the best, they are perfectionists. They will forever be thinking, so at the end they'll rush their work. But they are actually very good researcher, phlegmatic and thinker. Now, for feeler is very good in acting. Many actors, singers are actually feelers. Okay, they are very good in those areas. They like popularity. Feeler like popularity. Feeler like to be noticed. Feeler like to attention. They like approval. They like recognition. Okay, so feeler can make good actor, good PR, and then thinker usually are very gifted in the artistic area. So most of the painter in the world, most of the musicians in the world, they are thinker. They are gifted in those areas. Whereas for doers, they are good entrepreneur. They are visionary. They are good church planter. They are good in starting something because they have the drive. They don't see problem. Okay? So these are the things that will help us in life. Now, I just want to read to you some of, so you can record it down yourself, okay? I just want to let you know. The highest emotional needs of thinkers. Okay? Thinkers, highest emotional needs, they like to be understood. They need to be understood because thinker doesn't talk. They don't like to talk. So many people, they don't like to talk, but they display some airs, you know. People think that they are proud, but usually they are not. Simply because they feel inferior about themselves, they don't want to look stupid in front of people, so they will display an air of pride. And many times they are misunderstood. Actually, they are not proud. Okay? They just have to cover up their inferiority. It's just in them. So they will show that they are proud, they don't talk, so they need to be understood. Thinkers are very straight. They want truth. They want honesty. If you have cheated a thinker, the next time he will never trust you again. Because thinker himself is very honest. Okay, they are very straight until they become quite rude. Okay, thinker want security, their needs. You see, thinker, for example, they want money. Why? They want the money to give them security. Feeler also love money, but feeler want money for what? To spend. Different, very different. Okay, I'm not saying all of you must be that way. You could be mature and grow out of it, you know. It doesn't mean that you have that weakness and you definitely fit into that weakness. No, you may be mature enough, you have polished yourself so you can overcome that. Okay, so you see, feeler want money to spend. Thinker want money to save. So they feel secure. Feeler doesn't have security problem. They are the happy-go-lucky type, feeler. So they are fun to be with also, feeler, okay? Now, a thinker needs privacy. One of their top needs is privacy. When you talk to a thinker, you realize that they don't talk about themselves. They always talk about somebody else. Because they are a very private person. Not because they are bad or they are selfish. It's just that they are very private. Unless they are very secure with you, they won't talk about themselves. Okay? And then a thinker like to stay at home. Home is their castle. They don't like to go out. So if you're married to a thinker and you are a feeler, don't expect your thinker husband to always go jalan-jalan with you, because he doesn't like. His home is his castle. And he likes you to be at home with him. As long as he knows that you are at home, he's happy. You can be in your room, he's in his room, but he's happy. Whereas for a feeler husband, for example, he likes the wife to be with him in the house, but he wants the wife to sit next to him all the time. They like to cuddle, they like to have skin contact, Okay, I accept it, no problem. And then a thinker like time alone. Time alone. That means when a thinker comes back from work, as I told you, a thinker, their energy goes down throughout slowly. So when they come back from work, they are very tired. Don't disturb the thinker. Either a woman or a man, if you are a thinker after work, spend time by yourself. You need it. You need it. Because that is the time where you regenerate. You regenerate just to be quiet. Maybe you just take out a newspaper and read. Maybe you just switch on the TV. You're watching the TV, but you don't know what is going on. You just want to unwind. Or you may be upstairs sleeping, lying down, just to be alone. So as a spouse, you give the other half time to be alone. You see, when I first got married, I don't have this information. My husband, being an engineer, he's a high thinker. The moment he come home, he would take the newspaper, sit there and read. I just couldn't stand it, because I wanted him to spend time with our daughter, play with our daughter, because I have been being the only child, they don't have playmates. So the mother have to play with her. But when my husband comes back, I would like my husband to play with her for a while before she does her homework, take dinner. But my husband just couldn't. She would just take the newspaper and read. And my daughter being young, she would ask the father, am I more important or the newspaper more important? The husband, the father will just ignore her, because that is his need. Only after I have this knowledge, then I won't disturb him. He reads newspaper, I know after a while he will be okay. After he's regenerated, then he will be able to spend more time with the family. If he is not regenerated, he'll be getting more tired and he won't talk to us. So these are the things that we can help each other. So he needs time alone. Give the thinker time alone. Feeler. Okay? Feeler. So if you want a thinker worker to work for you, give the work in the morning. Don't expect too much at night or late afternoon. The thinker will be very tired. Okay? It's just they're born with that energy usage throughout the day. For a feeler, the deepest needs is social interaction. They need to interact with people, talk with people. They are really friendly people, feeler. They make you feel nice about yourself, which I can see in them. Feeler, right? Yeah. They make people, are you? He? You?
Apparently we both are.
Yeah. So they can make people feel at ease, That's a feeler. Whereas a thinker would hide in the corner. See, I have, like my husband, after social, like last night, he didn't want to go because he doesn't like social environment. He likes to be quiet, right? So I have a couple who are my friends. They're Australian. The wife is a feeler, the husband is a thinker. Now they know this, they have this knowledge. When they go to social function, they drive 2 cars. You know why? Because the wife who is a feeler like to after food, after makan, the wife like to socialize, talk to people, she enjoy it. That is her needs. You need to give her that fulfillment. Then she'll be a better wife, So the husband will let the wife socialize. After eating, the husband will drive home. They accepted this is the arrangement. So we adjust. We don't force another person to be who we are, which make the other person unhappy, right? So at first they didn't realize. The husband, after eating, would sit at the corner and sleep. So the wife feel very bad, embarrassed. Then later they make the arrangement. Husband, you don't like socializing, but after eating, you drive home. I will stay back to socialize. And they're happy with that arrangement. So filler need social interaction. They need a lot of approval. Approval. Okay, they want to make sure that you agree that what they do is good, what they do is right. You know, they need the approval. They need verbal acceptance. They want to be accepted. They want attention. Filler need attention. Filler like popularity. You know, you give them the attention, they will even be a better person. Okay? We don't stuff them with their needs that are not met. And filler always feel quite unsure. They can feel quite unsure, so they need your approval. They want the acceptance, approval, attention. Whereas for a doer need to be in control. I think that shows in your leadership maybe. Like to be in control. You know, they like to be in control. They always have a goal in mind. A doer always have a goal in mind. They are task-oriented. They are always concerned about getting the work done. So much so, sometimes they will forget about the feeling of the people. That is a doer. Okay? So they may be very good in doing things, but they have forgotten about the feeling of the people. So that is an area that is considered as a weakness also. A doer like unrestricted boundary, because they can do a lot of things. They like challenges. They like recognition for their achievement. If they are recognized for their achievement, they will do even better. Okay? Now we talk about weakness. Okay, now I want to talk about phlegmatic. Okay, phlegmatic. You see, this model don't have the phlegmatic, but because I have done other courses in temperament, so I know that there is phlegmatic, which is between -2 and 2, or all your score are minus. Okay, so those are phlegmatic. I will just give you the phlegmatic. Okay, their deepest emotional needs of a phlegmatic is a peaceful environment. Peace at all costs. Conflict is too tiring, so they just want peace. Okay, peaceful environment. Phlegmatic also wants security. If they are threatened in the area of security, they will get very worried and anxious. If they feel that, okay, I'm not secure in this situation, they will get very worried. Okay, that is the phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is also a person who is, phlegmatic is a bit like thinker. They like to procrastinate. You know, you give them something to do because they want to analyze. They are unsure. They like to analyze. They want every fact before they move. So a thinker and a phlegmatic will move very slowly. They are like turtle, very slow, but they surely move forward. So some people who want to be fast, they can't stand this kind of temperament. Okay, now weaknesses. A thinker, very negative, and judgmental, because they think a lot, you know, they don't talk, they don't converse with people, they don't exchange ideas, so they become judgmental, self-righteous, they're perfectionists. If you have a thinker worker with you, okay, who is a thinker? Okay, thinker worker. How can you offend a thinker worker? Or how can you not offend? Okay? By what? Thinker's identity is in his or her work. So if I want to get at the thinker, I will just criticize the work. Hey, not too good. Wow, the thinker will say, you're talking about me. But actually you're talking about the work. Don't take things serious personally for a thinker. We learn not to take things personally because people are actually talking about the work. But the thinker, because his or her identity is in a task, getting things done, so they will take it very personally. They are very sensitive people. Thinkers are very sensitive to criticism, especially on the work. Okay, if you criticize a thinker's friend, he or she may not feel that much. But if you criticize the work, he or she will feel very hurt. Whereas for a feeler, you criticize the work, no problem. But you criticize a friend, cannot. That's how people function in this world. So we must know this is how they would do. Okay? Thinkers' weakness is also bad in socializing. They have low self-esteem, slower decision-making, very pessimistic, keep anger and unforgiveness. Thinker can replay the hurts easily. You know, they are like, switch on the video, replay. 10 years ago, how this person hurt me. They can do it. It's just in the temperament. Where's feeler? Feeler, you hurt the feeler. Oh, she may feel hurt for a while, then she forget. You know, a thinker, when they are angry, when they will always suppress their anger until the last person who is so unlucky to do something will be outburst. But it's not the last person's fault, because the thinker has already kept the anger until here. They don't express it. Thinker usually are quiet, they don't express. But their anger is already here. So you are one day being unlucky, you do something wrong, it will be outburst. But it's not your fault. Okay? So thinker will have anger that is quite explosive if they explode. Whereas feeler have anger, but there is a shotgun type. Bang! Then you ask them, why are you angry? They may even forgot why they're angry. Feeler get over anger easily. They don't keep the unforgiveness, whereas thinker do. Okay? But thinker is a very loyal friend. Thinker can make very deep friendship. When they don't need many friends. Thinker only need a few friends. Good friend, and they are very loyal. If you have thinker score in your affection area, you can be a very loyal spouse. Okay? But thinker is very strict person until they are quite rude, because they don't understand the feeling of people. Okay, feeler. Feeler's weakness is very subjective. They see things through the grid of emotion. They go by feeling, you know. So they are not so subjective, not so objective. They are subjective people. Feeler can easily be influenced by peers. So if you have a feeler child, if you are a teenager, a feelers, if your peers are drug addicts, they take drugs, it is quite likely that you will follow, because your needs is acceptance, attention, approval. So because of these needs, you will follow your peers. If not, you will be rejected by them. So morally, feeler can be affected by peers easily. Okay? Whereas thinker is not. Thinker is quite firm with what they believe. Whereas a feeler, because of the needs of acceptance, so they will quite likely follow what their peers do, not so firm with a moral issue. And then thirdly, a feeler can be quite irresponsible with their work if they are not mature. Not every feeler, okay? Because a feeler's need is socializing. So they can leave their work and socialize. Then they forgot to complete their work. You see, if you are not mature, but you can be mature, then this area is no longer your weaknesses. Feeler, because of the needs of attention, acceptance, approval, if you are a high feeler, if your score is quite high in the area of feeler, then you are bound to be a people pleaser. You want to please people. So much so that you may take in many responsibilities because you just want to be nice to people until you realize that you cannot perform because you have taken in too many responsibilities. So feeler have to have to bear in mind that weakness. If you are high feeler, if you're low feeler, not a big problem. Feeler like to talk, feeler can be restless, can be loud, can be undisciplined, can exaggerate, so they can do sales quite well, you know. Sometimes they can be unsure. As friends, they like to be the center of attention. They like to have, in fact, they like to have many friends. They like big circle of friends. Whereas thinkers just need a handful of friends, they'll be happy, but they will be good friendship. Whereas for doer, their weaknesses can be very controlling, can be impatient, can be aggressive, can be manipulative, or despise weaknesses in people. Because they are so strong, they can despise the weaknesses of people. So we have to be careful. They like to have a group of weak people around them, so that the weak people can fulfill the doer's goal. But if they are not careful, they can despise the weak people's weaknesses also. So doer also like to use people as tools to achieve their own goal. But they can do a lot of things, okay? So strengths, okay? Now, okay, weaknesses of phlegmatic. Self-righteous, very stubborn. Okay, phlegmatic is very stubborn, refuse to change, very difficult to change. To them is insecurity. They like to stay where they are, no need to change. Okay, very stubborn, have a dry sense of humor. The reason for that is actually a defense mechanism. Okay, phlegmatic doesn't want to control people. They don't like to control people. Neither do they want people to control them. So if a phlegmatic feel that you're pushing them too much, the humor will come out. Dry sense of humor. Actually, that humor is to push you away, so that you don't dare to push anymore. For example, if I'm a phlegmatic, you ask me to buy a car. You know, I could be humorous by saying this, but I don't like to buy a car. I feel that you're pressurizing me. So what I do is I say, okay, I'll buy a car, you drive it. Or you say, okay, I'll buy a car, I'll send the bill to you. So you stop asking her again, you see. To her, it's a defense mechanism. It just come out. So it's called dry sense of humor. A doer cannot take phlegmatic's humor. Okay? And then nobody can conquer a doer, you know, only phlegmatic. Because a phlegmatic, you ask them to do faster, they don't care. They will still do slowly. You scold them, never mind. You don't like me, never mind. Yeah, phlegmatic can work in a hostile environment. They are good with that. I know a couple, you know, a couple. The husband is a doer. Do. The wife is a phlegmatic. Everybody is scared of this husband, you know, because he's a doer, can do a lot of things, and he's a leader. But the wife, when he comes home, he can do nothing because the wife is a phlegmatic. He push the wife to do something, cannot lah, don't do. Don't care. Quarrel, don't need to quarrel. Just keep quiet. So they have cold war all the time. The doer want to quarrel, the phlegmatic don't want. Peace at all costs. See, the phlegmatic can still live happily, nothing. But the doer is fuming inside. Want to quarrel, get the things done. But the phlegmatic don't want. So this is how things, you know, work in life. It's very funny when you look at it. Okay, so they are very stubborn. They have dry sense of humor. They also need to stay in control. That's why when they feel that their security is being threatened, the humor will come out. Dry sense of humor to push you away. They like to procrastinate because they like all the facts. They are very practical people. Phlegmatic and thinker are very practical people. So they want all the facts before they move. So you can say that they procrastinate a lot. Okay, now we want to talk about strengths. Okay, for a thinker is usually very creative. They can be artist, musician. A thinker is good in one-to-one discipling. If you want to counsel somebody one-to-one, a thinker can do it well. But if the thinker has feeler, then it will be a good counselor. Because you can think objectively, listen to the story objectively, but at the same time you have the feeler, you can have empathy. You can feel. So for a good counselor, if you are a thinker and feeler combination, then you can make it good one. A doer cannot be a good counselor because a doer has no patience to listen to story. And a doer is so capable that he will think, or she, when listen to your story, will think, nothing what? Why you got problem in that? They will think like that because they are so capable. Okay? So different one of us can be used in different area. Okay? Thinker, able to go through work systematically. If you want systematical work done, ask a thinker to help you. Thinker have eyes for detail. They are very analytical. And thinker also is very self-sacrificing. Self-sacrificing. If you want the thinker to do overtime, they will do it for you. They can just sacrifice. Okay? A thinker parents are also very self-sacrificing parents. They can do everything for the children. But a thinker parents usually are quite strict with their children because thinkers have rules in their mind. They are very obedient people. So children in thinker family, they tend to behave very well because the parents tend to be very strict. Whereas children in feeler family tends to be disorganized because the parents are disorganized. Feeler are quite disorganized. I'm not sure about you, but they are quite disorganized. Okay. If you look at a bedroom is untidy, things are everywhere, tends to be feeler. True or not?
You should see my desk.
Very clean, is it?
No. I can't have things clean. I need it to be chaotic.
It's true. If you have feeler children, they change their dress, after their dress will still be there, their trousers will still be there, then they walk away. You ask them to hang it up, they say no need, after wear also go in like that. That is a feeler. I have met many feeler children. I look at the room, cannot. It's a feeler. The mother will say, it's feeler, my daughter is feeler. I tell them to clean up the room, but they just won't. They are happy with, what they're doing. But when they are when they turn into a mother or a father, they will change. They will tidy their house, it's different. Sometimes we just have to, know their temperament and live with it. Self-sacrificing parent thinker. Feeler have great empathy. Okay, they are very good in comforting people. They are good carer. They care for people. Feeler is also creative. They are very enthusiastic people and motivational. If you want people to motivate your team, you can be quite sure feeler will do it well. They are very enthusiastic people. They motivate. They tend to be very optimistic people, compassionate, very carefree, very warm, outgoing, and friendly. That is a feeler. Whereas for a doer, their strength is they are great leader, very good leader. Okay? They have vision. They are also enthusiastic and motivational. They can be a good planter, plant something new, pioneer. They are very productive people. They are strong-willed. They are risk-takers. They are decisive, and they are confident people. So the world don't need many leaders, only need a few. That's why you see very few D, only D. Simply because if you have too many D, the world will be in chaos. They'll be fighting all the times. All want to lead, okay? The world has a lot of feeler and thinker. and also phlegmatic. So most advantage, okay, a strength of a phlegmatic is good with detail, so they make the best accountant in the world, they make best engineer in the world, phlegmatic. Their task is their identity is in task, in doing work. But if they are required to interact with people, they are good also. They are very calm people, they are very easygoing, dependable, efficient people. Okay, they are very calm, easygoing, dependable, efficient, but you have to let them take their own pace. Don't rush them. Phlegmatic, one thing phlegmatic have to pay attention is, phlegmatic tends not to get involved. Let's say, for example, they look at people do some work. They can see the weaknesses in that project, but they will keep quiet. They are spectators in life. They don't want to talk. Although they have gift, they have talents, they don't want to share it, simply because they think it takes too much energy to want to share. Sure, it somehow is in them. They don't want to share, so you have to push them a bit to share their view, you know. They are spectators in life, so if they are not careful, they are just not participating, they waste their talents in life, okay? As a friend, a phlegmatic can be a very good listener. They can be peacemaker, they are easy to get along, they are pleasant people. But they can be a smiling assassin to a doer. They can smile, but actually they are killing the doer. Because they are not moving. A doer wants move, go on, work. Okay? So, no, any questions? Any questions? Okay, you realize that under social environment, we are of one temperament. Under stress, you can turn into another person. But I have seen people under stress, they are still behaving the same way as they are in general, which is good, you know. But you see, most of you, if you look at part 1, part 2, part 3, most likely it's different, all right? So, for example, if you are a feeler in the social area, I just let you know the likely problem. Your feeler is quite high in the social area. You are liked by people because you are friendly, you are personable, you are a carer, you are carefree, you know, you are the life of the party. So you have many friends, you are so friendly. But it's possible that when you come to the affection area, you become a phlegmatic. Then you will have problem. If your spouse do not know it, they will think that you do not love them. Are you?
She's dramatic.
Oh, is it? No, I don't remember, but I just want to mention that because it happened to our counseling before, right? You can be very friendly, you know, in every area, but when you come to your relationship with people who are intimate with you, if you are phlegmatic, you tend to be not showing so much emotion. You tend to be too easygoing. You tend to be not showing your emotion. So your spouse would think that you don't love him or her, unless he knows that your temperament test is like that. But it doesn't mean that you don't love your spouse. But your spouse would misunderstood, because when it comes to the affection area, you become another person. You're quiet. You're just ignoring everything, you know. So that could be a misunderstanding, okay? But as long as you know the temperament test, then it's okay, you adjust, okay? And then, any other questions? If you have high doer in the affection area, then you are a person who like love according to your own terms. Love according to your own terms. Are you? Oh, is it? Sorry, I don't remember. I just recall. Does he behave like that? You only accept love according to your term. That means, difficult to explain. But you
I'm not a high doer.
are not high. What is the score?
D2.
Oh, so it's low. It's not high. What is highest?
Well, no,
Affection.
D2.
Only D2.
Plus 0.
D2, I don't know what D2 means.
D2 is doer.
It's 2.
Yeah, alright.
2.
Oh, so you're.
Is that high doer?
No, it's a low doer.
No, you're not. You're doer feeler. Sorry. Doer feeler.
Oh, there you go.
Doer feeler. Not pure, yeah. So it's okay. So it's okay. Not pure is better. Because doer, you want love at your own terms. You don't respond so easily to your spouse who may show you some affection. You want it at your term. That means if she buy you something, you may not accept it, you know. You may not accept it because to you that's not love, it's something else, you know. Sorry? So we usually let, this is part of our premarital counseling material, because we want to warn them, you know, which are the areas that you are likely to have misunderstanding or have weaknesses. Then you must be prepared and then adjust with each other. Any other question? Now let's say you want to park your car, you're going somewhere, okay? You're in a hurry, you want to park your car. Do you know how the doer will park? Can you say it?
Malaysian style, just leave it there.
No, if there are boxes, you know, for you to park right in, there are boxes drawn out. How do a doer park? How does a thinker park? Sorry? A thinker, how does he park? Yeah, he will park properly. He may even reverse back. Make sure that it's okay, you know. Doer, how does a doer park? Yes, perpendicular to the shape. No, a doer style. They don't care. They don't want to go by the rules. Those who are not mature, you know, not polished, they will just park anyway. Doer want to challenge rules and restriction. They park anywhere. Where's the feeler?
Similar.
Yeah. They don't even realize there are boxes. They keep talking in the car. If the car has tidbits, you know, a lot of tidbits and wrapping paper of sweets and things like that, what temperament are they usually? Who are they? What temperament? Sorry? Feeler. Feeler like to eat tidbits. In the office, if you find the drawer have plenty of tidbits, they are most likely feeler. They like to work and eat. Feeler. Thinker, usually their table is very clean, well tidy, and their car is also clean. Feeler's car is very dirty. They don't care, they eat and talk, they eat and talk. They're happy-go-lucky type. The world without a feeler can be very boring, I think. Any other questions? You see, for example, you go for a meal, okay? If you got a vegetable stuck in your teeth, you have a doer, thinker, feeler sitting in front of you. What will they do? What will their response be? If you have vegetables stuck in your teeth, you have a thinker in front of you, a thinker friend, a doer friend, a feeler friend. Do you know how they will respond? They will respond differently.
Feeler wouldn't say anything.
Sorry?
Feeler wouldn't say anything unless they were asked.
Yeah, they won't say anything, but they what?
Stare at it.
No, a feeler will feel very embarrassed for the friend, but they wouldn't say. They'll be very restless, you know. But a thinker will stare at it. The thinker pay attention to detail. They will stare at the vegetable.
The doer will say, can you please leave and wash your mother?
No, the doer will do what? The doer will take the toothpick. Get it done quickly. Why embarrass? Get it done. A doer. Go to toilet or what? Go and look into the mirror. You know, they respond differently. So life is more interesting with different temperaments, isn't it? I think the phlegmatic will not say anything because too much energy required. Peace. Sorry? Yeah, maybe a dry humor. So very interesting, this kind of things, okay? So when a doer explodes in anger, the whole world will know. Because they are very, very big, explosive kind when a doer explodes. Unless you're polished, you know, I don't mean that I put you in a box. You see, with all this temperament, there's no good and bad. With any combination, there's no good and bad because God is fair. The whole thing we must remember is who is in control of this temperament? Who is in control of your life with all this combination? It's just like a hammer. A hammer is neutral. Depending on who uses it, you can use a hammer to build something which is positive. Or you can use the hammer to knock on somebody's head and kill that person. So with this temperament, there is no bad or good. It is who is behind it. Now, with me, with my situation, as a believer of God, then I will let God take control and change me. You know, weaknesses that I cannot change, I will ask somebody who is stronger, who is more efficient than me to take over my life, and my weaknesses will be lesser and lesser. You see? Now, for example, a feeler, a good salesperson. For example, who is a feeler here? Oh, yeah. You may do sales. You may do, for example, medical product. You can sell very well because you're a feeler. You're good in, you know, selling and exaggerating also. Okay? You're good. But you can turn this gift into evil. You can sell drugs and you still do well. Because that's your gift. Selling is your gift. Your natural talents. So you can use it to sell medical product, which help people, or you can use it to sell drug. You still make millions because you are a feeler, you see? So your gift, depending on who uses it. Okay, so you have to decide who is in charge of your life. I will surrender to God because I know I can't. I have plenty of weaknesses, I need Him. So these are the things that we have to consider. Any other questions? No? So we'll end here. I have to take back the test. So we finish early. No questions?